Leslie Schultz, author of Do Light Right title, The Howling Vowels.
And I'm Julia Braulick, co-author with Mom of the sequel, And Sometimes Why.
And we're here to talk about how to do a mother-daughter writing collaboration right. Well, actually, there's no way to do it wrong. If you're having fun, well, you're doing it right. But we are very pleased to be able to share some of our experience and our project.
The first book, The Howling Vowels, has a narrator who is a pretty verbal girl. Her name is Alexa. Mom based her on me for the most part. Most of that story is about the year when Alexa turns 10. That's when she moves from Manhattan to a small town in Minnesota and meets her 4 best friends, who each have a different vowel beginning their name. Eduardo, Isabel, Otto, and Ursula.
Although the book is clearly fiction, it does draw on our homeschooling experiences.
That's true of the sequel too. For example, I'm 13 now, and so are the main characters. And we're working with the same setting of Sundog, Minnesota, but all the characters have grown and changed because they are 3 years older. And just to make it interesting, we have introduced a new character to the mix, Yves. Y-V-E-S, which is a French man's name.
With a sequel, some aspects are easier and some are harder. It was great to have established characters and to have a clear sense of their relationships, of the setting, and the tone. But on the other hand, we didn't have as much freedom. Choices were limited because we had to build on what the first book had outlined.
Also, we had to introduce the world of Sundog and the characters to those who might not have read the first book, but not bore those who had already met Alexa and her friends.
Similarly, it was fun to have a new character to work with, but Yves also presented some challenges. In many ways, he's the polar opposite of Alexa. He's habitually silent, even a bit morose and troubled. And he's not close to his parents, whereas Alexa has really close bonds to her parents. Alexa, consequently, doesn't understand or like him very much at first. So we had a bit of a dilemma. How was the reader going to get to understand Yves' feelings and thoughts when Alexa is the narrator?
We decided that she did have to remain the narrator, but that in addition, each chapter would have a 1 to 2 page section at the end, written in third person limited omniscience from Yves' point of view. Mom has to write the first drafts of those Yves sections, because I still have trouble imagining him and giving his sections the right tone. I guess I'm too much like Alexa.
Well, that may be very much like Alexa. Now, Julia wrote the glossary for the Howling Vowels. It was a huge task. Seemed only fair that I would take that task on for the second book. We're equally sharing discussion for plot points, character development. On the other hand, Julia is a much more disciplined and focused writer, so she's doing the lion's share of first drafts. I'm coming in for our second pass, filling in holes. We're figuring out some questions, and maybe I shape a phrase or two. I must say, having Julia as a co-author has been a real antidote for my tendency to get writer's block or to lose a little confidence in what I'm doing. The first book took me 5 years to finish. Now, the second book we had 14 months ago. In August 2011, we had a full outline, and we almost have a complete full draft.
We agree more than we disagree, but sometimes we do disagree. Then we talk it out. And I know that Mom actually knows the characters better than I do, so she has the ultimate say in most things.
Well, on the other hand, you're closer to, what the kids are experiencing because you're more their age. One thing that we adjusted in this book is that the adults are a bit more in the background. They're still very present. But in one chapter, Ursula and Alexa learn something, or they think they learn something, about serious trouble that another character is in. They're not sure whether they should tell their parents or whether they should do more investigating on their own.
One of the things I am enjoying is the way real life becomes interwoven with the fictional world in little detailed ways. Since the Howling Vowels was begun, I have become quite fascinated by poodles and horses. Both animals have big roles to play in this book. I love observing my real dog, Peanut, who is much of a mama's boy, and giving some of his qualities to his fictional counterpart, Walnut.
Walnut's a great character. Well, to learn more about us and the fictional town of Sundog, our books, our homeschooling ideas, please go to www.winonamedia.net.
And if you have questions or comments or a similar experience to share, feel free to contact us at the same place.
We hope you have a good collaboration, whatever form it takes. Happy writing!